This is a Wild Age Production podcast.
Roll them bones.
I know you came here to be what you want in the game of D&D. Assassin, halfling, human, or rogue. Just gotta pick up all those dice and let's roll. We're rolling now for real. We're rolling now for real.
Welcome to Save or Die Expert Edition, the first and original classic D&D podcast.
Good evening and welcome to Save or Die Expert Edition, episode 135, Freebooters. I am your host, DM James, and with me tonight is DM Glen.
The sexier version.
And TM Erik.
Now I feel nauseous. Hi, folks.
Remember what I said about in a thong?
All right, and we've immediately moved right into inappropriate this evening, folks.
We'll still have our iTunes rating. Watch.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What, 5 thongs?
No. Actually, I was about to say no thongs, but that's much worse.
I could tell my stories of sharing a room with Bad Mike at GaryCon, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, and all of you should be going to North Texas RPG Con. Yay!
Yes.
Yes, We're going to have so much fun. Anyway, so how you guys doing? How we doing, huh?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but pretty good.
Doing good, man. Doing good, yeah?
Good.
So tonight we're talking about Freebooters, which is a basic style pirate-focused role-playing game.
This is by Night Owl Workshop.
Thank you, because I totally had not opened the PDF to recall the company name.
David Pulver and Thomas Denmark.
Now these guys, this is not their first rodeo. What else have they done?
No, they did Warriors of the Red Planet, which is all these are based on the ODD, 3 books, plus I believe Greyhawk. They did Warriors of the Red Planet, which is a John Carter type. Raiders of the Lost Artifacts, which is pulp Indiana Jones. This, Freebooters. They also have Guardians. They actually made a Supers game out of it.
Oh, wow.
And they have, they have a Starship Troopers based one, and I can't recall.
The Colonial Troopers?
Colonial Troopers, that's right. And they're all based on the same engine. And it's just like, wow, they get a lot of mileage out of just like the 3 books and like Greyhawk. And it's so funny because all the like in here, you have 3 basic classes and an optional class in the back. They all have that. But they are quality stuff. And this was published this year, 2017.
And okay, it's a 108-page PDF. I believe the PDF is available on RPG Now and Drive-Thru RPG.
And Lulu.
And you can get physicals on Lulu.
Mm-hmm. They're about $15 on Lulu, 10 for the PDF.
Now,
and they're quality stuff.
And it is while it is based on the old 74 era style D&D.
Right.
I know in the case of Freebooters it stands alone, but I believe the others also stand alone. You don't need the other books to play.
You're right. You can mix and match these or not. And what's great about these books is my problem with them was every single one of them I looked at and I go, these are fantastic, but I've got Savage Worlds for all this stuff that I do already.
But like me, I don't play Savage Worlds. I tend to favor like Swords and Wizardry White Box, and everything in here you can drop with no modification into.
And this isn't like
a White Box game.
This isn't like, well, you need White Box to play or the original 3 books or whatever. No, the system's in there.
Oh, the system's in here, and if you like James was saying, if you know Swords and Wizardry. It's basically using the same clone system. It's got ascending and descending AC with the same brackets that you used to look at.
And a sort of like rough Thaco.
Well, yeah, BHB, which is also Swords and Wizardry. and a single save. So if you use the Swords and Wizardry, you're going to feel right at home here.
Especially Swords and Wizardry Light.
Well, I don't know if Light's going to make you feel right at home here.
Well, I just thought I'd give you a plug.
I know. I appreciate it.
You know what, though, Eric? I think it could fit in pretty well into a continual light game.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I could see easily the conversion would be real simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Glen's going to go deeper into this, but listen, I was a history major, and I'm reading this, and I'm reading about the Caribbean, and the facts there, or the history that's presented there, was extremely interesting to me. More so than the system that I pretty much felt at home with already. But it looked like they researched the history pretty well. And even happy. Even there's a map of the Caribbean in here that's taken directly from a historical map. I believe it's a reprint of a historical map. Oh, yeah. And the game is very, very historically grounded. Like the standard classes are all non-magical in nature. They're all very, very built onto historic archetypes for pirates and characters associated with pirates. And even like the languages chart, like what languages your character speaks. It's not like common Dwarvish, Elvish, stuff like that. It is like you speak Dutch and Spanish and English. French, yes.
And it is so... See, this is what I like about these books. Now, I said, I have Savage Worlds for a while. What do we need these books for? I'll still buy these books because this is great supplement stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, the first thing I ever played with Savage Worlds was 50 Fathoms, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of the Dark Water type fantasy pirates.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to throw in some historical stuff, I got this book, Freebooters, right there. I don't need to run the system. I'm not going to run the system, but I mean, I can find out all about the Spanish Main, who came over into this other world from what time period and what they're used to. And, and you could just, use that as background material. You can lift stuff from here that is just incredible.
Well, and there's stuff in here. There's a lot of great piecemeal stuff in here. Like, even if you're not running a Pirates game, but you want firearms in your game,
yes,
they've got a great, clean, functional firearm system that works really well.
You could use that or Raiders of the Lost Artifacts or any of their other books. They do have great firearm system in this.
Mm-hmm. They've got a really great, really clean naval combat system.
That's what I like about it. It's clean.
Mm-hmm. Right down to the layout. The layout is... the fonts are very clear. The art is all black and white line art. A little bit of grayscale.
Yeah, it's all supposed to evoke the three original books and supplements, basically, which makes it really easy to read.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the god awful layout and description issues of the games from back in the day. It's all very user friendly and presented that way. It's just excuse me. I really, really enjoyed reading. I looked up when I first started reading, and before I realized I'd read 40 pages of it. And it's only a 110-page book.
Yeah.
Right.
But for 110 pages, you get a complete historic Pirates game with the option to add a little bit of magic here and there. In the back of the book, they've got a Bakor, which is kind of like a voodoo character. And I like that it wasn't just a magic user or a cleric reskinned. The spells they pick for them are not just cast it in one round. There are all these rituals but they still mimic very simple effects like healing or affecting crops or winds. There's a section on, designing your own pirate adventures and how to break them down, from gathering info to sacking towns, rescuing prisoners.
And all of them have an adventure, tables on here to roll up adventures.
Mm-hmm. And the encounter tables are very quick and very clean. Pretty much anything you're going to encounter in a Caribbean environment is there. Everything from plain old normal locals to escaped slaves to wildlife, alligators, boars, cattle, poisonous bugs, giant eels, even, of course, the Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah. And all written up in easy-to-understand stat blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like say I use this for 50 Fathoms. Like 50 Fathoms always got a magic and all that stuff. It's based on earth, air, fire, water. I could throw the Boca in there and any kind of like voodoo magic to give it that kind of a voodoo flavor in my game.
And it actually runs. Did either of you ever see the television show Black Sails?
I've heard of it.
Oh my God! When I read this, all I could think of was Black Sails. Black Sails is a historical fiction television series about Long John Silver before Treasure Island and how he discovers Treasure Island. It's really cool, and they tie it into all kinds of historic pirates like Calico Jack and Anne Bonny and Charles Vane are all characters. This book? Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. These names are all named in this book, along with these famous pirate captains and what their ship was and when they were active. If you want to set it in a specific period, or if you just want to do a kind of hodgepodge where you've got, Captain Kidd and Charles Vane and Blackbeard all running around at exactly the same time, you can do that with this, and it's such a nice sandbox game. Like, it's just. And it's got a swashbuckly feel, but it's still very, very grounded in reality. It's not like 7th Sea, where your character is necessarily larger than life. Being a pirate is still a hard life, and the game does a lot to portray that. It really makes the... Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, it just doesn't shove it in your face all the time.
No. It almost reads... like part history book.
Definitely.
But the good history books.
The fun part. And it does everything to make that period approachable. One of my favorite things in the whole book, on page 83 of the PDF, there is an alphabetical nautical lingo.
Oh, yes.
Listed. And I love that that's there. Just to give you a little sense. And then the next page has like a dozen books to reference, movies, and it's more than just, Pirates of the Caribbean. It talks about, Captain Blood from 1935, or, the often maligned, though kind of awesome, Cutthroat Island. As a matter of fact, it mentions Black Sails in here.
And it even Disney's Treasure Island, thank you very much.
Yep. It even says Black Sails is a particularly excellent dramatization of this game. And the whole time I was reading the book, I was like, this is Black Sails. This is Black Sails, the role-playing game. And it really feels that way, and I really, really liked it.
I would write here into references Treasure Planet.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie. That's Spelljammer.
Yes
I never saw it. Oh wow!
Oh, dude, you need to see it. Yeah. It's friggin' fantastic.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I love the. I like the way they did the ship combat as just like a variation of regular combat, where the ships have hit points and things, and you do initiative for the crews, which is nice.
It wasn't a system bolted onto an existing system like you're suddenly playing a different game.
No, there was some thought that went into it, and I do like the way all the ships are. It's like having another bestiary. You have it for the creatures, but you also have it for the ships, and I think that was very effectively done.
Large sloop, schooner, brigantine, yeah.
One of the things I really liked was in their optional class in the back, and I know we're jumping around a lot, but frankly, this book is like that. You can open it to any page and find something really cool.
Yeah.
In their spellcasting class, the Bakor. One of the things they do is that the Bakor only get up to third level spells, which, that's kind of lame. No. Think about this. A third level spell is something like protection from missiles. That includes gunfire and cannonballs, which is unbelievably powerful. But then they take the time to talk about the Loa, which were not quite gods, but more like spirits associated with voodoo and Santeria practitioners. And I had done a little research on these before reading this, and this is pretty accurate stuff to what they have in history. So it is respectful of the historic source material, which I thought was a wonderful, wonderful touch to the game. And then on top of it all, they have an optional skill system.
Yes.
And the skills are all very pirate-centric. Which is, of course, natural given the setting. But they're skills you wouldn't think of, but are really important to a pirate crew. Things like soldiering, which is how to maintain military discipline and organization among a group of men and women serving you. That's really important to a pirate ship. If you want to be a captain and you can't maintain your crew, well, then you're going to get mutinied quick.
And they talk about the way they do it, how they elect a something you don't think of. They elect a captain each voyage.
Mm-hmm. They elect a captain each voyage, and everything is equal among the shares of the treasure. And the captain only has final say in rare occasions. For the most part, it's a true democracy. Mm-hmm. The captain is kind of like the end-all be-all during a combat operation or during a raid. But other than that, it's pretty much group consensus.
Okay, let me talk about the class. It's if it was fantasy, it'd be racist class, because there's just classes. They're all they just assume you're playing human. Period.
Yep.
Which you could change if you want. They have the Sea Rover, which is a sailor who's a fighter. The Musketeer, who's more of a soldier on a ship than a actual sailor. And then they have the Striker, who a lot of times are natives who go aboard ships and develop like stealth, surprise, backstabbing. So you got it's basically equivalent to a thief.
I actually disagree a little bit. I don't think of it as a thief. It almost came off to me like a ranger.
Okay, ranger. Yeah, you're probably right, because, they got these native guys that come around and says, okay, I know this area. Let me see what I can find, or things like that. We're going to fight this, so you got to do that.
There's definitely a thief element there with backstab and stealth, but it always felt like these guys are more the trackers, the ambushers. They're not going to be picking pockets or picking locks, per se.
Oh, and all the classes are capped at 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The only thing I didn't like about the classes is on my first read-through, the Sea Rover and the Musketeer read very similarly.
They did.
Until I looked at it as a progression, and the Musketeer is a bit more front-loaded, and they have a higher hit die, but they don't get as many abilities as the Sea Rover.
Right.
The Sea Rover is more of a generalist, whereas the Musketeer is almost more fightery.
Sea Rover's more your average sailor pirate.
Yep.
And I love the pictures of them with the multiple muskets and guns, exactly the way they would do it, because you fire one, then you go in with the sword. And if you need to fire another one, you grab another one and fire it.
It really does try to cling hard to its historic roots.
Yes, it does.
But it's not bound to them. It says start with history and build out from there.
Yes.
The whole game had that tone of doing that. And they included some stuff from history that I didn't even think of. I love that they have stink pots, which were commonly used, but you never hear about them in games.
No?
I thought that was a really, really neat thing to include. Or, you see cannons in pirate games all the time, but you never see swivel guns. Swivel guns were huge. They were really important.
Those were the deck guns, weren't they?
Yep, they were the ones that are kind of mounted. You could they were called swivel guns because you could actually turn them almost backwards and fire them in different directions.
They're like tiny cannons.
Yes, they were the little tiny cannons, exactly.
Yeah. Ship's cabin and the long barrels and all that kind of stuff. And they do have maneuvers in here for ships. What kind of armor the ships can have. Oh, as far as your personal armor goes, forget it. You want to drown? Don't wear armor.
Yeah. The armor is definitely not important. And
leather at best.
Yes, leather at best, exactly. And they talk about things you that are going to come up in a pirate game or a seafaring game that you don't really think of. Things like how much does it cost to hire a native? How much does it cost to hire a trained guide or a translator or a cook? You have no idea how important a cook is on a ship. That's so huge.
And
because people who are hungry tend to kill each other.
Yes, and gazetteer, like the Caribbean and the Spanish Main and all that, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here, and it just gives you like a one paragraph of everything, like Jamaica, Tortuga, Tobago, and it just goes on and on, and it just, you can't believe there's such a short page count on this book.
That's just it. You feel like you're reading about 300 pages worth of material crammed into 100 pages. They waste no space. I was a bit put off by the $15 for the softcover digest, but after reading the PDF, I felt like I got a bargain.
Yeah,
and they do things like they tell you the difference in ships between a brigantine and a flute and a galleon, and what it means to be in these different ships, and how they function differently, to the point where they have cutaway maps. So you can see deck by deck how these ships are built, what they hold.
This is as good or almost better than a GURP source book.
That's exactly what the whole thing reminded me of, was a GURP source book. Even if I wasn't, like I love the new 7th Sea. I am totally going to be using this for a 7th Sea campaign because it breaks it down so well.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. They have black powder.
Yes.
Could you use this in one of your games? I'm not talking about the prejudice against or anything, but could you use it in a D&D campaign?
I could drop this in a Swords and Wizardry or Hero's Journey game like that with zero modification.
Okay. Okay.
The only place it deviates from the Swords and Wizardry model is it does occasionally use dice other than D6s, but that's such a tiny thing that, okay, I'm picking up a D8 instead of a D6 for my flintlock pistol.
Right, and you're only breaking away if you're talking about light and white box. Once you hit core and complete, all the dice are in play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, shows you how much I know about white box.
and it even breaks it down to like how much damage you do if you hit somebody with the butt of a musket or the butt of a pistol.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what happens. A lot of times you fired your pistol and that was it. You flipped it over and suddenly it was a shillelagh.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't use this for a swashbuckling pirate campaign, there is so much here to use as a source book to add to your old school or clone of choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of little bits and pieces just to yank and play with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask a question here?
You just did.
I will ask another one then.
Okay.
BHB.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
+1, +2. Why?
Because ascending AC is better than descending AC.
What's that got to do with BHB?
Okay, here's how it works, Glenn. Basic hit bonus. You add that to your D20 roll.
Right, I understand how
There's
it works.
There's no two hit charts.
Right, it means you don't need to hit charts, basically.
Oh, because I've seen that in other games, including Castles and Crusades, and I wonder why it's there.
It's done because then you need one to hit chart for the entire game, modified by each class's BHB, versus one to hit chart for every class.
Okay, I just assumed it was a D20 versus armor class.
Well, here's how. Basically, like if you were using ascending AC and your opponent's AC is 15, if you roll a 13 and your BHB is +3, it's a 16. One better than you needed, you hit.
Right.
Yeah, it's as opposed to like. It's funny because I was showing my wife the other day. I pulled out my old DMG from 1E, and I said, the book will first off, the book's gonna open up to one page, the combat chart. Just by putting it down, let it open, and I go and look at the color of these pages, and then flip it 2 pages, and look at. I use those combat charts so much that pages turned dark gray from the grease on my fingers.
Okay, I would argue. My only complaint about that is that book is poorly organized and should have been in a better place in the book. But
well, yes. That's the point.
I'm used to me, like, less numbers you add, the better. To me, like I said, I'm not a fan of a lot of chrome, and this is it's chrome to me.
I find it. I understand where you're coming from. I'm
not just talking about this. I'm talking about any game that uses like a number like a BHB.
I understand where you're coming from. I actually find it to be less chrome because let me find the page number. I'm flipping through the PDF.
I don't need a chart.
Well, you need a chart, but there's one chart versus one chart for a class.
I don't know. It started in 3rd edition where they had that number they came up with, going, why is this number here?
Like a good example. Okay, so like the BHB thing, the base hit bonus thing again.
Sorry, folks, I'm getting educated.
No, that's fine. If you look on page 35 of the Freebooters PDF,
okay,
they have at the bottom the descending AC chart.
They do.
So using that same thing, if you had rolled a 16, then you can look and say, okay, that means you hit AC 3. You add all your bonuses up, 16's AC 3.
Oh, they put a +3. Okay, I misread that.
Yep. So that's
the plus threw me off.
Yep. And I can see why, because we're not used to seeing ACs as +3. It's just a 3.
What I find weird is their target number for which is their rough THACO,
Mhm.
alternate method, target number 0, level, and the classes do not correspond at all with the classes in the book.
No, they don't. Their progression to hit rolls is definitely different from
Mercenary, fortune hunter, occultist, academic scientist. What I think they did is they took that chart out of Warriors of the Red Planet and just pasted it into all their books, because I also have Raiders of the Lost Artifacts, and it's the same chart.
Well, and it's probably done for consistency between supplements. So if you have a Raiders plus Freebooters plus Colonials.
But you know,
I caught one little thing that shows its roots in swords and wizardry is when you look at the optional casting class.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a bonus for charisma because it uses charisma, and it also states, and like all classes, it gets a bonus 2 XP for high charisma.
High charisma.
But
okay.
it's not mentioned under charisma up in front, so
Right.
it's a holdover from somewhere. Only place I can see.
Yeah.
That's a swords and wizardry invention.
Well,
Yeah,
and that
I only
the
know
single save.
but- Yeah, and I only know because I've done so much reading and research when I was breaking out light that this stuff is ingrained into my head.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I do like the treatment here, though. Overall, this is a really a good clone if you want to play pirates, or if you just want to add seafaring to your old school OSR game.
Yes.
You don't have to use the classes here. They could be NPCs. But if you want to make a realistic, trip for your PCs, as opposed to, all right, well, you hop on a ship, 3 weeks later, you're there. This is going to give you the opportunity to add a little, I don't like to say realism to your game, but add a little excitement to an otherwise trip that you're going to hand wave, because now you don't have to hand wave it.
The only thing I found missing, and maybe I didn't see it because I only read through the PDF solidly once, was I did not see anything on weather and it impacting your journey, storms and wind.
I believe you are right.
I didn't see it either.
And that's not to make a disparagement against the game. There's so much here packed into 108 pages.
I mean, they even have the price for a cheap whore per hour in pesos. So I mean,
I just give you a call on Skype usually.
Dude, I am counted as an expensive courtesan, but I give you a friends and family discount.
Oh, sweet. Good. Good to know I'm special.
Oh, by the way, and if you're playing they allow you to play a Boker, by the time you get to 10th level, you can make your own zombies.
Yes, you can.
Yes, they have a zombie spell for a third level.
You raise dead, call lightning, death spell, which requires you to use a doll.
You make a potion. The person who drinks it, if they fail their save, they're a zombie.
Mm-hmm. And that's loosely based on the actual historic practices done by the time of the
I like
faith.
to play my zombies in any fantasy or anything. They're not like brains, whatever. I mean, you got ghouls for that. I like the zombies of the old Haitian zombies or white zombie, where there are dead people you raise to do stuff. If you want them to attack the PCs, you tell them to go and attack the PCs. Other than that, they do your bidding. That's zombies to me.
I thought the spell theming in here was so appropriate to the setting. My favorite spell in the whole thing is their death spell.
Death spell?
It's a 3rd level spell. It's on page 94. I'm going to read this out. This is awesome.
Go ahead.
It has a range of 10 miles per level, which is huge.
Holy crap.
The duration is permanent, but listen to the description. The user must make a doll or similar image of the person that includes something from the victim, such as clothing they wore, a lock of hair, or blood. Each day, the caster may spend an hour ritually tormenting the doll in some way, sticking it with pins, burning it with matches, cutting it, etc. And the victim suffers 1 die 6 points of damage.
Wow.
The caster can torment the doll each day until the victim is dead or until he decides to stop. He can keep the doll and blackmail the victim, starting the torment again later, if the doll is severely damaged in a way that it would be fatal to a living being, such as being burned, dismembered, or hung. The victim immediately suffers 3d6 points of damage, but the spell ends, and it takes a remove curse to eliminate the effect and harmlessly destroy the doll. That is terrifying.
That's a 3rd level spell, so they only get 3rd level spells at 10th level. So basically, it's 100 miles range.
Yeah, 100 miles. Which is
huge.
Which is huge, but think about it in seafaring. It's not that huge if you're traveling on a ship.
No.
Well, true.
But that's so flavorful because you can still only do a d6 point of damage a day unless you really jack the doll up. But could you imagine every day just all of a sudden, okay, your character suddenly experiences a horrible stabbing pain in their knee or their neck, or they suddenly
Or
feel
their
their
stomach.
Yeah. Because somebody on an island somewhere is stabbing up a little doll that's stuffed full of your hair.
That's a variation. Basically, it's a variation on a curse.
Yeah. Well, it even says you can only get rid of the doll harmlessly by casting remove curse.
So, and basically, you know, if you can have this cast, then you'll have encountered the caster prior because they need something from you. So you're going to pretty much have an idea. All right, this island, I got Puerto Rico. I got to stay away from Puerto Rico because I pissed somebody off and they're torturing me.
Or what if you take that and there's a pirate captain who's blackmailing you because he's got a death spell on you and he's making you do bad stuff. You know, I mean, there's just that alone is a great campaign hook. Or a spell like there's a second level spell in here. It might it's a first level spell, I think. No, it's second level. Control fire. Think about that in a world with black powder.
Oh wow.
Wow.
With a range of 10 feet per level.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the spells in here are like fog cloud, which is great for pirate ambushes. Illusions, insect plagues. And that's if you want to add magical elements to it. You don't have to.
Right.
But
it's kind of a tempting to, but
it's tempting to. And as a player, as a DM, I would be tempted to limit it to NPCs or players I really trusted. Mm-hmm. But to me, that reminds me so much of Pirates of the Caribbean when they go to the woman who's out in the jungle and they make the deal with Calypso to bring Jeffrey Rush's character back from the dead or to find Jack Sparrow. This is the chick who can do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me it just screams piratey and it screams fun. And you don't need to use the rest of the book. You could drop that class into any game.
That's right.
If I were going to use this book, I actually wouldn't use the classes, and it's not because they're not good. They're fine. But I would just use the classes from White Box or Swords and Wizardry or whatever, and just take everything else, and you could drop it in almost with no modification and have a fantastic Pirates game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just freaking awesome.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No. Continue.
But first you should watch Black Sails, because Black Sails is awesome.
Or Pirates of the Caribbean, or Pirates of Dark Water, if you can find it. Or, that's a little pushing a little. But anyway, I think we've geeked out over this enough, haven't we?
Maybe.
I probably. I mean, it's. I think
we can do another 2 hours on it. I know.
I think all three of us should agree that if you don't have it, you should first of all buy the PDF, and then once you buy the PDF, you'll want to buy the physical.
Exactly.
So just buy the physical.
It's $25 worth it. I mean,
absolutely.
I always want to have both because I'm just the one for the PDF for reference, this for just sitting around and reading. So, yeah, go get it. It's Drive Through RPG or RPG Now for the PDF, $10. Lulu, $15.
Also, I'd like to reiterate my personal favorite. It's digest size.
Yes,
it's affordable.
Yes, they're all their books are digest sized.
It's all about the digest size.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and I hope we do some more of their books from Night Owl Workshop. I hope we get to do like Raiders of the Lost Artifacts or Warriors of the Red Planet. Or
I definitely could see them in the future because this book has made me want to go back and look at their other stuff that I was not previously interested in.
I'll even look at Guardians. Me being an old Champions character, I didn't think you could do it any better than that or Marvel superheroes. I want to see what they do with supers.
I would be interested to see exactly. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So either I'll get that soon or probably get it. I know they have them They usually have them in North Texas. So
they had them at GaryCon at the Black Blades booth. But I didn't get a chance to.
Right. But yeah, go get this. Love it. Use it. Know it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Guess it's time to go, huh?
I think we've ripped this apart rather rapidly and enjoyed doing so.
By the way, this is episode number 135. We forgot to mention that at the beginning.
No, I think I said at the beginning. Maybe I didn't. Oh, well.
Okay. Well, anyway, you're the host. Go.
Right. So I think... what?
No, I just wanted to bust on you.
Oh, well, there's nothing new there. You charge extra for that anyway. All right, this has been episode 135, Freebooters, which you should go out and buy because it's awesome.
It's actually Save or Die, but we'll let it go.
Well, it's say episode 135 of Save or Die, where we have discussed Freebooters, which you should go out and buy because it's awesome.
Remember that Night Owl Workshop.
Night Owl Workshop. So you can get the PDF on DriveThru and RPG Now. You can get the physical on Lulu. I have been your host, DM James. With me is TM Erik.
Hey, hey.
Say bye.
And DM Glen.
Bye, folks. Arr.
Bye, Glen. Arr.
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 Oh, yeah. Now we be going pay some road, Anarchy.